In this video, we'll go for our first Hello World project in Spring Boot. Okay, so in the last session, we have discussed that multiple ways to create a project. So just theoretically. So in this session, we'll see practically. So by Maven project or web initializer or command line or Spring Start project. So let's see this web initializer way. So just in a Google, I'm typing web initializer and then I'm getting very first link start.spring.io. So Spring initializer. So opening the same website. So there are two build tools available, either Maven or Gradle. So it's up to you which build tool do you use it. So default, it is taking as a Maven project. Default language as in Java. Then Spring Boot version 2.3.4. Then group ID, it's nothing but a package name, right? So com.example. Artifact ID, it's nothing but application name demo. Then optional description, then packaging. By default, it is taking as a jar. And what is the Java version? Java 8. Okay, so all the default options I'm using it. And then next is dependencies. Okay, so here first dependency is web. So what is the purpose of this dependency? Build web including RESTful application using Spring MVC. So basically, if you want to develop the RESTful applications, you can go for this web. Okay, so I'm clicking on this one. The next is I'm using DevTools. Provides fast application restarts. So if you modify any page, once again you have to restart the server. So especially in development environment, it's always good practice to use this DevTools. That's it. So generate the project, and then you have to import this project. So same kind of things using Spring Starter project also. File, new, then Spring Starter project, right? So here service URL https start.spring.io. Then once again same things. Which build tool do you want to use it? So Maven, packaging jar, Java 8, language is Java, com.example. So next, then dependencies, the web tool, Spring Web, and next is DevTools. On the bottom side, you can see it is downloading the dependencies. So let's wait for a moment. Okay, so by that time, we can go for next points from the slides. Okay, so now we already created our first project skeleton, right? So we have not added anything inside our project. But first of all, you have to understand the pom.xml. What are the dependencies we have added? Web and DevTools. And then by default, you'll find it one of the tag that is parent, where this project name, Spring Boot Starter parent. So whatever the dependencies we have from this project, all those dependencies are added. Then we have a Spring Boot application annotation and Spring application dot run. So what is the meaning of Spring Boot application? So it has two meanings. Number one is it is combination of multiple annotations. So what are those annotations? At the rate, target, retention, documented, inherited, Spring Boot configuration, enable auto configuration, and component scan. So here you don't need to create any configuration file. Then the way we specify the component scan in a Spring project, you don't need to specify all these things. And additionally, by default, some classes are loaded. Okay, the next line is Spring application.run. So in case of servlet, when the Tomcat server is started, container is started. In case of core Spring, when we create the object of application context, then container is started. So here, when the Spring application.run method is executed, container is started. So if you want to develop your first controller, right, what are the annotations you require? At the rate REST controller. So how this is different from controller annotations? So here in Spring MVC, we use at the rate controller annotations, which passes the response to the view section. But here directly we want to give the response. So REST controller is nothing but a controller plus response body. And then request mapping. So default is get. So either you can go for at the rate request mapping or at the rate get mapping. So similar to that for request mapping post, you have to specify explicitly, and then alternative is at the rate post map. So these are some of the annotations. Okay, so let's have our first example. So still it's loading. Yeah, so it's loaded all the dependency now. Okay, so what is the directory structure of our first Spring Boot application? SRC main Java, where we'll keep our all source files. Then SRC main resources, so static contained application.properties. All right. Then if you want to write down some test cases, then SRC test Java. So this is what the directory structure we have. And what is the package we have right now? com.example. So in this package only we have to add all our controllers, right? Or in a sub packages. Demo application, as we have discussed. In this file we get at the rate Spring Boot application and then Spring application.run method. Okay, so if I want to add our first controller, so right click, new class. So com.example.controller. Writing the controller name and then my controller. Finish. So annotations made life our easy. At the rate REST controller. And then next is public string get hello. So return hello from Spring. And here at the rate request mapping. So I'm not specifying any URL. So that means by default on a port number, I should get this response. Okay, so let's execute this example. Right click to the project, run as Spring Boot app. So most probably in the first example, either you'll get the message that project is started on a port number 8080. So the way we got it here. Or you may get the message that port number 8080 already in use. In case if you get the error message, then you have to change the port number. In your machine, there might be a chance that other service is using the same port number. So under the resources in application.properties, you have to write on server dot port equal to 999. It's up to 64,000 approximately. Those port numbers you can use it. Okay, so now on a browser, if I hit the request URL, localhost, and then 8080. So I'm getting the message hello from Spring Boot. Okay, so thank you. In the next session, we'll see the CRUD operation.